like to do a little beer tasting on a Friday afternoon, and that's why we have Mitchell Forgy joining us from Red Beard Roasters. Great to see you.
Yeah, welcome back. Last time I was here, we had a flash thunderstorm right after the show, flooded, and it was all over the news all day, and I figured, that's terrible, but we're going to do the other way this time, where I'm going to leave and we're going to have about a 2.5-week heat wave, I think, coming into fall.
I like the way you think, Mitchell. Yeah. I hope that happens as well, because I didn't enjoy that flood. I actually had stairs near my house, like at the side of my house, flood out. Oh. Did you have any problems?
Well, I went over back to Red Beard right away.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there like, hey. Nothing's happened. Like, the city's raining. Oh, wow, this is crazy in Kamloops. And then my partner's wife was driving back, and she actually took the video of Gearin Creek flooding onto the bottom of the Overlander Bridge, and she said, I should have Twittered it under Red Beard, and then we could have had, you know, double exposure that day.
Well, you're getting triple the exposure today, so let's not worry about that. We've got some great things we're trying out, though, and I know we have limited time. I think we have like 3 minutes left for this segment, so tell us what you've got going on here.
So it's a little bit of, you know, like, let's drink cool stuff Friday. I brought a bunch of beers because, unlike last time, we've actually kind of launched our bottle program at Red Beard now. And so we generally have quite a few beers in stock. We're going to taste a couple of them, and I'm going to go through a little bit what makes each one of these interesting right now. Right now I have this Due to Seal. This is a Quebec brewery that is actually known as the best brewery in Canada. If you look through the top 50 beers in rating websites, their beers appear about 5 or 6 times. They're also their Pêche Mortelle Imperial Stout, which will be arriving today at the cafe, is actually the highest rated stout in Canada. It's number 3 in the world, so that'll be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to pour a little bit of this so you can check out what it looks like.
Look at the color, first of all. Wow.
This is a hibiscus wheat beer. It's only 6%, but it's very summery. I mean, it's what you want to drink on a patio. One of our employees, who's very much a wine and cider drinker, she said this is the first beer she has ever finished by herself because she thought, wow, I mean, this is such a completely different tasting experience than beer.
You know, I love beer anyways, but this is delightful. It's got it's got sort of a cider hybrid thing going on, but not too much. Is beer still? Yeah, it's definitely decidedly beer. This is going to be a big departure here. This is Denmark. The brewery's called McKellar. Since they opened, they're very much setting the trend in terms of what a lot of international breweries are doing now, which is they don't actually have a brewery of their own. They just contract brew to other places, which is actually a lot of what the Kamloops brewery here in town does, is they contract brew Earl's beers and Bowen Island beers and whatever. McKellar does the same thing. They just hire other people to make their beers. This one is a 7.5% IPA, so it's a very hoppy beer, but it's been aged in Chardonnay barrels, and they add Brettanomyces, which is a bacteria that turns beer sour. It's basically like adding acetobacter to make vinegar, but they do it on purpose. So you'll find that this beer is intensely sour. And interestingly, if you take a bunch of beer geeks, men and women in a room, and you bring this beer in, a lot of the guys will be like, oh, it's going to be bitter, I'm looking forward to this. And girls are going to be like, bitter flavors, not into that. Girls seem to be going crazy for sours. We have a lot of ladies that have come into the restaurant that are like, you have sour beers on your menu? And they're a completely different flavor experience. I like this, but I couldn't drink more than 1 or 2 of these before having to move on to something else.
Yeah, it's a
very signature taste, that sour taste.
Totally
as I go
different.
In for another sip.
Yeah, exactly. Moving down the line really quickly, we have a new 8-wired in. This has got the Nelson Sauvin hop in it. New Zealand has all kind of hops that the rest of the world doesn't have. They're out on a little island, and so they don't get all the rusts and molds the same way that we do. And so the flavor profiles that they have in their organic hops is crazy. So this is a highly recommended beer. It is a lot more like a Sauvignon Blanc wine than it is like a beer. Okay,
let's get tasting. I think I just got the 30-second signal, so we're going to be
fast. We
have
time for one more then. We're going to do the Saison Roux because it's already open. This is from the brewery in California. With Clodon just before, it's really interesting. The brewery did a collaboration beer where it was 99% Sauvignon Blanc and 1% stout. So they blended basically almost entirely wine with a little bit of beer.
Wow.
And the beer community was very happy to say, this is beer. And the wine community was, this is not wine. And so I think that's where you're seeing a lot of the growth in the craft beer movement go, is that there's no rules. They're just like, we're going to do whatever we want. So this is a Saison style of beer. This is also a slight sour.
Look at how it matches your shirt. Could we get that close up?
Yeah, it was on purpose.
It was on purpose. Look at this. I'm just going to bring it in. Okay.
So anyways, last beer of the day. It's Friday and we're coming up to September. So I think before I talk to you next time, I'm going to be able to tell you a little bit about an event we're doing in September with some live music and that. So
we'll talk about that the next time?
Anyways.
These were delicious. And I also have to say all the colors, like fabulous fall colors almost, really, for all of these different things.
Yeah, totally. And it's coming that time of year, unfortunately, isn't it?
Fortunately, unfortunately. I love the fall. I just don't like what it leads to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Mitchell, thank you for being here today. Some great flavors going on. Check them out. Redbeard Roasters on the North Shore. Information on the screen and the phone number. They have very polite people that answer the phone, by the way. We're back in 90 seconds. Stay with us.